I'm not a dancer because a dancer can execute a triple pirouette effortlessly. I'm not a dancer because a dancer always has perfect turnout. I'm not a dancer because a dancer can pick up new choreography within seconds. I'm not a dancer. My name is Gabriella, and one thing about me is that I love to dance, and I've been dancing ever since I was little. I would spend my time twirling around my room, creating dances to the newest pop songs on the radio, or learning the dances from my favorite DCOMs. That's Disney Channel original movie for the uncultured. At the age of 6, I learned the entire dance to Cruisin' for a Bruisin' from Teen Beach Movie, and I can still perform it at a moment's notice to this day. At every family party, you'd find me on the dance floor the entire night dancing with my grandpa. Even though I never took any official dance classes as a kid, I learned all I knew from YouTube and my grandpa. I still credit him as being my first official dance teacher. He taught me everything from the classic cumbias and the James Brown to a really cute hula for my 4th birthday party. I dreamed of one day being like the dancers I saw in my favorite movies and YouTube videos. And ever since that first hula performance, I knew that dancing is what I wanted to do when I grew up. Now, here's a little info for those of you who don't know dance. The dance industry is one of the hardest in the world to succeed in. If you're not put in ballet slippers by the time you can walk, you're already behind. And I definitely experienced this when I first started taking dance seriously. When I started taking dance classes in high school, I was super intimidated. Everyone I saw was so much better than me. Yeah, I had been dancing all my life, but I had no technique, no knowledge of dance terminology, and no clue how to do anything outside of the realm of hip-hop. And I say that in quotes because looking back now, I couldn't even call it that. I just had rhythm, thank God for that, and a passion. I always knew internally that I might never be the best dancer in a room or on stage, but I was willing to work hard for it. So, freshman year, my first year in dance, I worked my butt off. I tried hard and took every class super seriously, but I was really hard on myself, and I internalized every note that I was given, to the point where dance started to feel more like work than it was fun. Because of the stereotypes and the false expectations I had in my head, classes and rehearsals often ended with me in tears, having a panic attack in the girls' dance bathroom. I felt like I couldn't do it, and many times I wanted to quit, but I didn't, because at the core, dance was still something I loved to do. So I pushed through and started my second year in dance. Sophomore year started out great. I had learned so much the previous year in dance, and I was excited for a fresh start. Little did I know that a lot was going to change. After 3 therapists, 2 trips to the ER, and 1 shockingly expensive ambulance ride, my sophomore year was not at all like what I had expected it to be. It was a dance class just like any other. One of the first of the year, August 22nd, to be exact. We started class just like we always do, with warm-ups. We did some tendus, some pliés. I was feeling great. The progress I had made last year had transferred over, and I started feeling like an actual technical dancer for the first time. It was then time to go across the floor with a fairly simple combination, a chasse, a pas de bourrée, and a pirouette on the right en dehors. I went across the first time. It was a little rough, but it was okay because I knew I had another opportunity to do so. I went the second time. I chassed, kind of ate up the pot of beret, not gonna lie. And when I went for the pirouette, pop. I audibly hear a popping sound. Definitely not a good sound to hear when you're dancing. Within seconds, I was on the floor, in the middle of the dance studio, with no clue what had just happened. A sharp electric pain enveloped my right leg. Why can't I move my leg? I thought to myself. I looked down and saw my kneecap 2 inches from where it should have been. Okay, maybe it was more like 2 centimeters, but I was in shock, so give your girl some slack. The first few seconds after my injury, I was in shock. But I remember everything like it was in slow motion. There was so much adrenaline rushing through my body that I stopped hearing the music that was still playing in the dance studio. I physically felt my body pushing down the panic that was rising within me. But I had to stay logical. I couldn't break down in front of everyone. When choosing between fight or flight, I physically could not move, so I kind of had to choose fight. Stop. I think I just dislocated my knee, I say to my dance teacher, as my class, completely unaware, is still traveling across the floor like the good dancers that they are. The next few minutes were a blur. But all I remember was thinking to myself, this can't be happening. I have MCO auditions next week, and I have to choreograph my entire sophomore class's Spirit Week dance. I can't do this. Not now. Not ever. All these thoughts were running through my head as I tried not to have a panic attack right then and there in the middle of the dance studio floor, still with level 8 pains running down my leg. I had dislocated my knee and stretched some ligaments. Though a pretty mild diagnosis for what could have been a much worse knee injury, all I heard was, "You're out of dance until further notice." Plus, with the dislocation once, there's a very high chance of dislocating your knee again, which I can confirm, considering I have had 2 more knee dislocations after that original injury. I still have a little bit of trauma from the Beatles, from that second knee injury, but that's a story for another time. The one thing I loved most was torn away from me in an instant. The week I got injured, I was tasked with creating a dance for my class's Spirit Week performance. It was my first time choreographing something that people would actually see, so the dance was a big deal. How could I choreograph while on crutches and not being able to move my leg? I wasn't sure, but I sure as hell had to learn fast. As soon as I got home from the ER, I started to brainstorm. I could ask one of my dance friends for help, but it was 11 o'clock at night and she was definitely asleep. I could ask someone else to do it for me, but I couldn't do that because this was a project I was super excited to do, and I didn't want to put that stress on someone else. So I pressed play on my Spirit Week playlist, and Feeling Good by Michael Bublé came up. I pictured myself dancing as I listened to the song. It looked exactly like what I wanted the dance to look like. I took out a pencil and paper and started describing each individual move I pictured in my head. I then rewinded the song, paying attention to each specific 8 count of movement and where I wanted it to go. My process was kind of like building out of Legos. If a specific piece or block didn't look good where I had put it, I would move it until I liked where it looked. I wrote everything down, and before long, I had filled the entire page. My notes were almost like a new language. If shown to anyone else, they'd be really confused, but everything made perfect sense to me. After Feeling Good was finished, I then worked on and finished the other 2 dances in almost no time. Wait, that was kind of fun, I thought to myself. After choreographing the Spirit Week dance, I wanted to choreograph more and more. From fun little combinations that I came up with when I was bored in my room that no one ever saw, to choreography and movement for my dance class, I started choreographing all the time. So when I had the opportunity to choreograph for my old elementary school's Christmas program, I obviously said yes. What originally started as 2 very cute Christmas dances eventually became a club that meets every Thursday for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. My favorite thing ever is walking to the elementary school after school and hearing one of my students yell from across the courtyard, "Miss Gabby, what are we doing in dance club today?" Sharing my passion for dance with my kids, my children, brings me so much genuine joy. Seeing them improve in their skills and find their own love for the art form makes me feel so fulfilled. Because of my students, I realized that teaching dance is what I want to do. I love creating, and choreography is the way to do just that. I still use my choreography language that I came up with to this day. Because of the opportunities I have been given by my dance teacher and through my high school's dance program, I've been able to learn so much more about how to generate creative and interesting movement. I was able to persevere and think of a creative solution to my problem during a hard time, and because of it, I found a love for something I now want to pursue in college and in my future. In a time of uncertainty with my own dance skills and possible dance future, I was able to find a new passion in choreography and teaching dance to others. Because of said horrible situation, I was able to become a better dancer through it all. All those rehearsals where I had to sit there and watch because I was unable to dance myself gave me an eye for detail and giving notes. Becoming a choreographer gave me all of these tools that help me today, whether that's in the studio or in life. One day, you will see the name Gabriella Hernandez choreographing for the biggest names in the industry, and you will remember the time you heard this TED Talk. You never know, maybe by then I will have my perfect triple pirouette, hopefully, but until then, I'll be in front of my mirror creating my next dance piece. I am a dancer. I am a choreographer, and I am a teacher. Thank you.